Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Here, it's good morning to you. I'm sorry, I don't know if I just popped up or not. Hello, June 13. Susan, are you there?
I am. You sound sort of far away, but I'm here.
I do. I'm feeling. Susan, I've gotta start the show with something that is very sad here in Pittsburgh. That's not known to you, if you don't mind. But we've lost a wonderful guy. Actually, I had just gotten off the phone with Susan and my mother and brother when I got the call that Stan Savran had died. I was not surprised because I knew he was in hospice. And, you know, when people die, all these things are, you know, oh, it was someone lit up a room, wonderful guy. Every glowing thing that you will read or hear about Stan Savran is absolutely true. A wonderful, wonderful guy. Whip smart. Jeez. I mean, he had a head that, you know, retained absolutely everything. He was more knowledgeable about sports than any human on earth. And then couple that with the generosity of his heart and the fact that he was incapable of lying or disseminating. He was a truth teller. And you know what? It got him in trouble. It probably, in some ways, hurt his career. He said things on the air that were true that didn't make the higher-ups happy all the time. Stan should have been elevated to greater heights than he was, but it was, I think, the truth-telling that stymied that. I'm just one of a multitude of people lucky enough to have known him, worked with him, and adored him. So he was, above all, a true journalist. I was talking to Sally Wiggin last night, and she had gone to see him just 2 days ago. And she said that, you know, he wasn't, you know, like so many guys in sports, he wasn't a fan, she said. He wasn't a fan because he was a journalist. He loved sports. God, loved them. Not gymnastics. Boy, God, during the Olympics, he used to annoy the hell out of me because he would make fun of anything that wasn't, you know, like a sport. A certifiable mensch in every way. Stan Savran, he was a teeny weeny bit older than me. He graduated from high school a year before me in Cleveland. And his name was Stan Savran. But like a lot of Jews in media, he shortened that to Stan Savran. And I'm just, all of us who knew him are sad as hell. Susan, you would have loved this guy. He was so smart. He played the saxophone in high school, and he just was he was the cutest guy. I don't mean cute by cute, but he actually ended up as he aged looking a little like Bert Lahr.
Well, that would make a cute younger man, but yeah.
Oh God. Oh. Yeah. The Pittsburgh Pirates.
I offer you all my condolences. It sounds like you lost a good friend and a good guy.
Wonderful guy. The Pittsburgh Pirates, I think it was, I saw put out a tweet that said, Susan, he had a radio show and television shows, and I mean, he was just everywhere. But his show, callers who called into his sports talk show would always start with Stan, love the show. And so that's sort of this Stan, love the show is a thing that's followed him all his life. And I think it was the Pirates that tweeted, Stan
loved the show. Right.
Loved the show, but more than that, we loved you.
Well, now I'm going to start crying because I don't even know the guy.
Oh, God. He never, just a true gentle man and a kind man. And he was beset by more physical afflictions than you can name, and he never, ever, ever complained. He had type 1 diabetes from a young age. That caused him terrible trouble. And at the end, just a few months ago, he had his right foot amputated.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of his left, I believe. So he was looking forward to a prosthetic and getting right back into the fray. And he also had lung cancer. He had brain surgeries. He was just beset and besieged by everything, and he just kept on going. I think I have it somewhere. I came across something that he had written when people were concerned about him when they heard he was off the air, and it was I can't find it. It was just typical, we're gonna get back. I'll be back. Here it is. This is the last thing he put this out about 2 months ago. Hi, it's Stan. I hope all has gone well for you since we last spoke. As you know, I've been saddled with some health issues, some of which have kept me from being with you. I'm afraid I've reached another such juncture. My doctors found it necessary to amputate my right foot. I'm in the hospital recuperating and will be in various rehab facilities for some time. While I'm doing so, I won't be able to be on the air with you, but make no mistake that my primary objective is to get back to a point where I can do a daily show. My objective and my expectation is to be back with you on a daily basis, just as I have been for all these years, and do so as quickly as I can. Rest assured, I still have the same energy and passion that I've always had in being there for you and with you every day. I may have lost an extremity, but I've not lost any of my passion for the job. I fully expect to be back with you soon, and we can continue our partnership in sports. Yeah, so anyway, his family was with him, his sisters and other family, and he had so many friends here. Anyway, too young. I say that because I'm old too.
Right.
Too young. Oh man. And Suze, he was the smartest, the best. He didn't necessarily, he didn't end up doing he didn't get sometimes the big job because what I said, because he was
said what he was going to be, because he said what he wanted to say and could be relied on for that. Yes, absolutely.
Right. He was an honorable man, a man of true character. Oh. Anyway, so
well, it's really awful to lose one of those. We could use more of those kinds of men. Yeah.
So, just want you to know, I've gotten already an email from Ellen saying how sad she is and how she listened to his show. She says, I was a regular listener. See, you didn't hear a lot of women on the show, sports talks and guys thing. She says, I was a regular listener and admired him very much. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I don't know what to say other than than that. It's a day I was dreading since hearing that he was doing badly after the amputation. Okay, so
yeah.
Donald Trump's going to court today. I'm assuming he is. Did he find? Did he?
No, he's having. He still hasn't found lawyers. I mean, he hasn't. No one will work for him in Florida. I was just reading about it. I mean, he's been talking to him, but no one has agreed to represent him. That he will have represent him. I'll just put it that way. But the way
that might be, isn't that just another delaying tactic? Because if he's not represented,
well, he has representation. It's just not enough. The court will find someone.
Get him a public defender.
Yeah.
Well, his poor bagman, body man, valet butler, idiot, who's going to be indicted today along with him. He's got representation. Maybe he could borrow his valet's.
Well, his valet has a much better reputation than Donald.
Yeah, I know. So.
Yeah, no, this is, it'll be interesting to see what goes down. I sort of feel like all the lovers of justice should just go down and ring that courthouse with signs of support for the American justice system working as it should, and just keep all of those other people away.
That would be nice, but it's a little late now. Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, I do think that that's what we should start doing. There's going to be a lot of these things. And so the lovers of actual American democracy and justice have to go down and protect the people that are tasked with doing what is, might on the surface look to be an easy job. If they've got the facts, they can just do what they need to do, and is in fact a very frightening and scary job. And
I was wondering, Susan, okay, let's say they go forward, they pick a jury. Is it possible, it would be, right, that one total cultish Trumpian manages to slip through and is in that jury box?
Yep.
And simply refuses to find him guilty despite the just overwhelming case that the prosecution brings. Is it possible that one person could?
Yes. But let's not go with that. Let's go with with the system done right actually works. Let's see what happens. And and there's always Georgia, and I'm not so sure there aren't more indictments coming down anyway.
I mean, out of Jack Smith, Yeah, he's still working on the January 6th.
On January 6th, so
and whether or not Trump is culpable there.
Yeah, it's beginning to happen, and at this point, I was impatient to get to this point. Now I'm not impatient. Now I'm just happy to let things roll along.
Suze, I think I said this yesterday. Things roll along, but they roll along really slowly, we have found out. And I think he's going to die before he goes to,
that'll be fine. I'd settle for that.
No, it's not. It's not fine for me.
I think it's problematic to find a prison for him. I actually do. I think I'd be perfectly happy to see him convicted and then die.
Well, he might die before he's convicted. You can't convict a dead man. Right?
Well, we can elect one. Why can't we convict one?
Even, good God, his attorney general, the loathsome Bill Barr, was heard to say, I believe, the other day, that if half of the stuff in this indictment are true, he's toast.
Yep. Nikki Haley said it pretty much the same thing, but more politely. But but Bill Barr is, I don't know why he thinks that he can redeem his reputation, but he's trying to.
Yes.
I mean, yes, he's telling the truth, but too little, too late.
Well, yeah, he aided and abetted this criminal.
He did aid. Yes, he did aid and abet. So too little, too late.
Yeah. And the thing we know is that everything in that indictment, it's not half of it. Everything is true.
Everything is true.
And there's no way if he's found guilty on all counts, which if there's a genuine jury, he will be, that he would go, that requires a jail term. Yeah. They also say, Susan, here's the other thing. They say, you know, he goes in today and, of course, will be released on his own recognizance. I'm thinking of all the people in the world to whom that should not apply. It's him.
It's him. And if they don't take, if they're too polite to take his passport, shame on them.
They won't. They will not. They won't take his passport.
And he should.
And anyway, how the hell can he travel surreptitiously? I mean, whatever. You just, an extraordinary crook finally meeting his.
Yeah, I am pleased. I am pleased to know that even he, in his most private moments, when he allows his brain to think a little bit, must be scared to death.
Yeah, I think he's scared.
And I'm willing to just settle for as much discomfort for him as he can possibly feel. And to be that scared is very uncomfortable.
But here's the thing. Donald Trump's scared and cornered and still with a megaphone of the world's
he's dangerous
on him. He's extraordinarily dangerous now.
That's right.
He will bring the whole thing down.
Yep. Or die trying. You betcha.
So he wants other people to die trying. But
yeah, he wants other people to die. He doesn't want to die.
No, he
wants his loyal soldiers to die.
It's just really. So all those people who said for years he'll never go to jail, do you still think that? My God. And in fact, he has to go to jail. He has to be convicted if our justice system is to have
is to ever be. Yeah. The law has to apply equally to everybody, and even though we know it doesn't, in this very high-profile case, it must.
So, I have a feeling that he is abandoned by. Can you imagine if you think he's capable of loneliness? Do you think he's? I mean, a guy who's as vacuous as he. I just can't imagine really. There's no way. I'm an empathetic person. I can't put myself in his shoes because I don't think of him as like a human in a way. He's lacking in all of the capacities. His wife ain't there with him. Even his daughter's desperately trying to what? She's trying to be known as Ivanka Kushner. As if that's a great name. It's the two.
Well, at least the in-laws will be equal. They'll both be ex-cons.
Well, that's true. Ivanka's children will have two grandfathers who are ex-cons or cons. As it were.
How do you even raise kids, and with all that privilege and that info?
I can't imagine. And I have to admit, I don't know why. Every once in a while, I think of that kid of his with the still unformed
the very tall, the kid that looks much older than he is. Yes.
Yeah.
Although he's older now, so.
Yeah, but still. Can you imagine? Oh God. Well, there's other kids that I spend time worrying about, not him. But so this is happening today at 3. I know they think that, there's no reason for anybody to do something. People are worrying about security. It doesn't make any sense to attack the courthouse because, first of all, you could hurt Donald Trump. So the crazies aren't going to be, there's not going to be violence there, right? I think if there's going to be violence, it'd be, someplace else, somebody making a statement. And I just don't see
it's too quick for violence. And once there's a jury, then they'll start threatening and doing terrible things. It's scary.
Yeah. Speaking of the jury, speaking of violence.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. I just wanted to say that, when I received that email from that white nationalist threatening the jury here in the synagogue shooting trial, I did finally get a response from the security folks with the United Jewish Federation here. And they said, we're very much aware of that email. You were not the only person to receive it. And I can assure you that the security of the jury is uppermost in our minds. Think of the jury for the trial of Trump.
Yeah.
How the hell are they going to secure those poor folks?
And they're always acting like it's Jack Smith that made all this stuff up, and they're totally skipping the fact that a grand jury had to hear citizens, had to hear all of this evidence and decide whether it made sense to bring charges. So it's not him. It's the grand jury that sees enough information to say there is probable cause to think that a crime has been committed. Let's send this to court. So juries are already at work. That's, the system has been working. The regular common man has been working, and woman.
Jesus. I don't know.
But let's talk about a hero. Let's talk about a hero in a position of elective office, and that's the gay 78-year-old school board president of the Los Angeles School District.
Don't know about it, Susan. Tell me.
Well, she stood up. She married her longtime partner, was one of the first people in California to be able to marry her partner. That was 28 years ago. And she was a teacher, and when she retired, she ended up running to fill an unexpired term on the school board, and subsequently was reelected and then became board president. And she is, she's openly, gay. She's got children. She's got her wife. It's no secret. She's been an activist. And of course, they've got people picketing their grade schools because somebody read a book about families, about all different kinds of families. And there was literally one line that said, and some families have 2 mommies or 2 daddies.
Yeah.
And so there were a bunch of scary people picketing and yelling at an elementary school.
They think they're helping children. Can you imagine?
And she delivered a very fiery 6-minute speech aimed at these people, calling out what bullies they were. How dare they frighten the teachers in there? How dare they frighten the children, that they were the danger? Just because they were very little people who were so afraid that they caused fear in others. And she just went on and on and on. And good for her. Yeah. Yeah. Just stand up to them.
Speaking of public figures with courage, name me one who's a Republican.
Mitt Romney.
No.
At this point, he's the only one that's saying that.
Well, okay, fine, Mitt Romney, but he gets a pass. How he's still with that party? He votes with everything. He votes with them.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just I mean, at this point that acts like courage in the Republican Party.
Okay, so that milk toasty, that's courage.
Yeah.
But the fact of this, the damning evidence that Smith has put forward in this indictment, that this president was showing people with no security, with no business seeing it, and waving around stuff about our nuclear capabilities and other countries' nuclear capabilities. This is, and not a Republican speaks out.
Oh, those law and order folks, those national security folks, those right. America First folks.
Exactly. How do they look themselves in the, how do they do it? I can't comprehend such unbelievable.
They're in a cult now. That's how they do it. They are in a cult. I mean, how do you know?
It's not all cult. Not the politicians is not necessarily cult. It's
that's just
right. They're aware.
Yeah, that's just selling your soul. I mean,
right.
Explain, Graham. Ugh.
Oh my God! Somebody was saying, everybody said, "Well, Trump's got something on him." I think that's true. Somebody's got something on him because you can't explain him. I mean, and it's not.
Well, yeah. I mean,
everybody knows he's gay, so that can't be it.
Well, no, but I do think that that's what it is because he's closeted.
But he's not. Everybody knows.
Well, that doesn't mean that you think that people are not capable of self-deception?
Okay, here's the other thing. Trump, I heard somebody say, and it was so true, there's something just insane about his, grabbing onto these boxes of secrets and saying they're mine, my boxes. It's like that, and here's where I'm going to get the movie wrong, the character wrong. That movie with the guy saying, "My precious." Do you know that?
My pretty?
My pretty or my precious? Yeah, the sort of.
Well, that's the witch in the Wizard of Oz.
No. It's my precious. Help me here, guys. It's a big, a movie with strange characters in it. I can't think, but it's an animated, not animated, but Gondor. I can't. Okay, I don't know because it's not my kind of movie, but it strikes me as that, like there's something just insane about it. Actually, I thought it's Susan. I thought of your husband when Trump's thing said, "I don't want somebody looking through my boxes, not my boxes. You cannot look in my boxes." And I remember,
and you thought of my husband's boxes all under my bed.
No. I thought of your husband laughing hysterically when I slammed my refrigerator door. It was either on him or somebody else. I slammed the door. I said, "I don't want you looking in my ice box." That's what I said. Don't look in my ice box. Well, the Freudian.
He just fell over laughing. I remember that.
He was just beside himself. Stay out of my ice box.
No, I can just see him with his belly shaking, his face bright red, tears dripping out of his eyes, and just that little. At that point, it would be a quiet laugh where all you would sort of hear is him wheezing.
Yeah. Thank you, Milton. I knew you'd come to my aid. It's from Lord of the Rings, and the character is Shagel. My precious. Okay, we have a caller. Hello.
Good morning. Hi there.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hey, one nasty thing and one positive thing. I'll start with the nasty because I'd like to end on positive. Can the son of a bitch just choke on a chicken bone and go away?
Yeah.
I'm with Lynn. I would love to see him suffer a lot before he died. But if he just sort of like vanished and disappeared and just never entered our lives again, I mean,
can you imagine the conspiracy theories that will?
Well, can I broaden this a little bit? Can it be a tainted chicken that he and his sons are dining on together?
Okay. Maybe they get septic.
I'd like to take out more of the family.
Oh yeah, I mean,
all of them.
Whatever. That's. I mean, but
think big. Think big. Yes. Okay.
I just want him to go away. But let me ask you this. Okay, so if he gets the Republican nomination, which is a strong possibility still.
Oh yeah. No, he's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, because I don't want to. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but has he attracted any more voters where he could possibly win? You know what I mean? It's like, I just like. But see, I've used the same logic before and got terribly surprised. So I don't want to get too happy with that, but I can't imagine him. He's only had to lose people in the past few years, right? He could not have.
And I do think that if he gets the nomination, that we will be successfully able to motivate enough Americans to say, "Hell no, we meant it the first time, no."
Well, but let's remember, I think we need to run scared in that regard, because remember that all these Republican-controlled states also control their ballot boxes and their legislatures, and their secretaries of state can create mischief. And remember the goddamn Electoral College, which gives him a head start. I'll be worried until.
Well, I'll be worried too, but we need to use that worry to remember to motivate every single last one of our voters.
So you're saying that possibly just from finagling that he will get Georgia and Arizona possibly.
Well, there's that, and there's also the fact that is this victimization thing that he'll be able to play to the hilt really pulls his cult closer and maybe pulls more people in. The guy representing them being, targeted by the deep state. And I don't know, you do see his numbers go up with these indictments. They don't go down.
Oh, God. Okay. On to something nicer, sad but nicer, is Stan Savran.
Yeah.
I've started listening to sports talk radio in the 70s, and I know the past 25 years or so, it's turned into a bunch of loud, blowhard dudes on the radio.
Yes, I know.
And he would not sing at their level
ever.
And he would have his call-in shows. I never called in and talked to him, but I would listen. And you could get some guy, the biggest jerk in the world after Steelers loss, and the guy probably had too many Iron Cities, and he always talked with them with the utmost respect. He never talked down to anybody. He was very respectful. It's the way all of us need to be, and somehow we are degenerating into those other people. Not we, but it's we need more people like he was. He was just a gentleman through and through, and a area where there's, you're seeing less and less of them.
Oh,
politics or sports, point. It's all the same.
Screaming meanies, yeah.
Oh God, it's like
you're right.
And it's just well thought out, reasonable, and just respectful. And we'll miss him for it.
Oh God, yes. That's great. Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Clarence just sent me a meme. Somebody had already gotten that character. That they imposed him in the bathroom holding on to the boxes.
I've seen that. Okay.
Okay, so that's who I'm talking about. That's
okay.
That's what that is. My box is my precious. Oh yeah. Okay. Pat Sajak, Susan.
Yes, retiring. What do you think is behind that?
Well, I think he's. Can you imagine doing? And I happen to have. It was on the other day. I still cannot get over the fact that his head weighs more than the rest of his entire body. Just look at him. It's the same with Al Sharpton. There are guys, and I suppose women too, on TV, whose bodies are so tiny and whose heads are just how they even don't topple. I don't know how they.
They have strong necks.
I can't even imagine. So Pat Sajak, and I just want to say, he is a total right-wing. Total. As a matter of fact, somebody said that there's a picture of him with Marjorie Taylor Greene not too long, which is, really surprising that he would do that, given that, he's supposed to appeal to
the masses,
a cross-section of America. And one of the things I've credited, not him, the producers of the show, is I think one of the ways Americans have gotten comfortable with gay marriage, with people who look different, sound different, and all that, is that they're contestants on things like Wheel of Fortune. And they say things like, my wife, and it's a woman talking, or my husband, it's a man talking, and nobody bats an eye. And I think for middle America, that I've often credited Wheel of Fortune for normalizing
that and shows like it. There's a lot of talk shows that worked at it too, daytime talk. Surprisingly enough, a lot of these issues were also dealt with in soap operas very early on.
But I think the reason I think it works better on Wheel of Fortune is in the soap operas and in the talk shows, they're actually referring to it, drawing attention to it. And there's nothing. It's just like, here are a bunch of contestants.
It just is. It's just normal.
It just is. Yeah. We're not even talking. What's there to talk about here? Yeah. So that's what struck me about it. But anyway, he can go away. I won't miss him. And
nope.
I guess
Vanna can stop wearing. Can you imagine having to wear evening gowns every day?
Well, they're not.
The format sort of never changed.
I know. No, and it's whatever. I don't know. Stupid. But yeah, the thing that blew me, the one time that I was simply stunned, and the one time I saw him in person, was at the most unlikely event. And I think I've mentioned this before, and I still can't get it out of my head, that when Fred Rogers died, there was there was this big memorial service celebration held at Heinz Hall here, which of course was picketed by those Reverend somebody, God hates fags guy.
Of course, yeah.
They were there in force, and the MC of Fred's memorial was Pat Sajak.
You're kidding.
No. And I remember, I had this vague memory of broaching it with Joanne, his widow, was Pat Sajak. And she just, Pat's been a friend for they had friends. They befriended everybody they met. And I suspect that the conversation was not about Fred and Joanne's politics were not that. So that probably never came up, I guess. And I wonder if they even knew his politics. I don't know. But I was just stunned. And I suppose he did a good job because that's what he knows how to do, right?
Right.
But I was just, oh my Lord. Yeah. I mean, Fred was a registered Republican.
I'm just thinking, I asked you to do Eric's. You mean I could have had Pat Sajak?
Yes, you could have. Yes. And he didn't have a black eye and his arm in a cast or something, which I did.
No, Eric chose you. He wanted you in your icebox up there.
Well, yeah. Best funeral ever. Okay, here's another question before. Let's get back to Trump a little bit, because a lot of people are wondering, other than the craziness of why would he risk so much? Is it just his insanity that he wouldn't give over when asked? I mean, the government.
Yeah, I would. Well, at this point, it's pretty crazy. But I do think that he just thinks he's entitled to all this shit. He's never had to pay. He's never been held accountable. When asked, he simply gives it back. When he finally realizes he can't keep it anymore. And in my own head, I'm thinking about the Plaza Hotel. I remember being so upset when he got the Plaza Hotel. But he couldn't keep it. He just wanted it, but he had to give it back.
Well,
this is a pattern.
Yeah, but there were not criminal things going on, and I mean,
there weren't. Who knows?
As we know, he had lawyers who were telling him, "Hey, you do not; these are not yours. You have to give them back. You don't. It doesn't matter if you, blah 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 blah. And this could be, this is a crime. They're giving you an opportunity to, give it back, and that he wouldn't. And I read this thing that I think, he might seem like an idiot a lot, but he's also a conniving crook. And that's his genuine nature. So I don't even know who wrote this because I don't have it. And I'm sorry, I'm not distributing it. But it says, secrets are a kind of currency, right? They can be hoarded, but if kept too long, they lose their value. Like all currencies, secrets must sooner or later be used in a transaction, sold to the highest bidder, or bartered as a favor for which another favor will be returned. Are we not now in Trump territory here? Totally, he knew they were of value. He knew this was something he could use in a deal at some point. And this person goes on to say, to see the full scale of Donald Trump's betrayal of his country, it is necessary to start with this reality. He kept these secret, top secret intelligence documents because at some point he knew those secrets could be used in a transaction to benefit him. He wasn't thinking about the treason part, that what he was holding were also the makings of treasonous activity, because his head doesn't go in that direction. But we're also wondering, given the $2 billion that the Saudis gave to Jared Kushner and the other money that we can't even imagine, that's where Smith is digging around too, in those areas. What did Trump give them?
Exactly.
In return. What? So he knew those boxes were, to him, bargaining chips. He just didn't think it through quite clearly enough. God. So there's that.
Well, the good news is you don't really have to show a motive. You just have to show that he did it.
That's right. I mean, they don't have to say, why would he do this? Susan, I didn't say anything to you, but I said something on the show yesterday. What is with, it's that picture of the bathroom. A crystal chandelier hanging above a toilet next to...
Yeah, well, I don't know what that's for.
Next to a white plastic shower curtain.
I know.
What?
On a rod.
I mean,
that's what... It was the shower curtain that got me. A shower curtain? Really? I wouldn't think that such a thing even... So maybe this was maybe the servants' quarters has crystal chandeliers, but shower curtains.
But shower curtains instead of, yes, glass doors or no door or walk-in. You just wouldn't have a tub like that with a... But it's the chandelier. Oh, my God. My God.
The big one and the little baby one, yes. Well, that's the thing that is another constant about him, and that is his deplorable taste.
Yeah. Well, that was true of his first wife, his second wife, and his third wife too. I mean, that's how they. Well, who knows who was so into the just hideous taste.
Which reminds me, speaking of hideous taste, and there was Aaron Rodgers at the Tonys wearing yet another brown suit. This was his dress brown suit. It was sort of iridescent.
Wait a minute. So, okay, well, he's a Jet now. So, wait. What's the thing, though, with brown suits being a bad thing?
They're just on him because he's tall and lanky. They just look awful. They just look like he's walking around in a suit fashioned out of manure. It does not look attractive. I'm not saying brown suits are bad, but I would ask you, how many times do you see a guy walking around in a brown suit? You see khaki suits, you see navy suits, and you see sport coats and bottoms. But and you see plaids and houndstooth, stuff like that. But to see just a plain brown suit is, I swear, I just want you to think about it, pretty rare.
Is that true? I don't know. Pretty much you don't see guys in suits anyway. I don't in my daily life. But yeah, okay, I'll take your word for it. It's just not something I...
No, you don't see them because they're expensive and a whole group of men simply don't even own them anymore.
Yeah. So, wait, speaking of the tone, Mr. Clarence has called in. Okay, come on in.
I missed who's wearing a brown suit? Because I missed that part.
Aaron Rodgers.
The quarterback. Was that the tone?
The erstwhile quarterback of the Packers, now with the Jets.
Oh, okay. I have no idea who you're talking about. Because all I was thinking about was, I thought you were still on the Trump thing, and I thought brown suit, brown shirt, But anyway.
Well, there's that.
talking about the shower curtain. I was trying not to call, but I figured out what that was about. You know, the shower curtain was there to hide the boxes. But remember, we're talking about Trump's people.
So they put them on the wrong side of the curtain.
On the wrong side of the curtain.
No, listen. If you look,
but they closed the door.
They did close the door.
Wait a minute. I think there are boxes in the tub too. There were boxes in the
see, and now we all understand why Trump had such a big problem with those low flow toilets. They just weren't getting those documents down.
Oh, dear. He did rip up. They say there's many instances where people saw him ripping things up and throwing them in toilets.
Yeah.
When he was in the White House. Yeah.
And that's the White House has some huge fireplaces in it. That shows you what kind of incompetent guy this is. He's even a bad criminal. He's like, he's going to flush him down the toilet?
Well, he doesn't quite know how plumbing works. So he's not aware that they're going to be in a large wad at the first bend.
Yeah, of course he does. He talks a lot of crap. He just doesn't really know where the crap goes.
He doesn't know much about it, right?
He just doesn't know about it. Yeah. Okay, that's it. I just had to get that shower curtain joke out.
All right, appreciate it.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Bye. Bye. Okay, so back to the Tonys, Susan. I meant to say this yesterday because I was talking about the Tonys yesterday. And here's a
great
genuine question. Yes, it was a great show. It was a genuine question I had. Excuse me. I'm looking at the headline, and I don't know how to pronounce the names of these. The winner, J. Harrison Gee or G?
Yeah,
G.
Well,
J.
I mean,
Harrison,
ghee, which is actually Ghee, is pronounced ghee when it refers to clarified butter. Which is.
But you don't know how they pronounce it.
I don't know how he pronounces it.
They.
She or she or they.
They.
Sorry, they.
J. Harrison Gee, Alex Newell, our first non-binary actors to win Tonys. So why hasn't anybody brought up the questions that suggests? Because I don't think
that's true.
No, it's not that it's not true. Listen to this. Alex Newell, there's the first line. Alex Newell, became the first openly non-binary actor to win a Tony Award when they claimed Best Featured Actor in a musical for Shocked. Now, okay. If you're non-binary, why are you given the actor award? Isn't there these awards are like all the award shows used to be, right? There's featured actor.
There's an actress and an actor, right?
That's right. So if you got these non-binary,
but in this case, what they did, well, this is an interesting question because to answer your question, they went with the gender they were awarded as birth for the category in each instance. So
they went with the category that they were born, but that's not who in the Tony.
They actually won Best Actress, and each of the days, one won Best Actress, that was Shucked, and one won Best Actor, and that was Some Like It Hot.
Yes, but I'm saying the category doesn't fit.
I agree.
Do not identify as.
I agree. So by the nature of the award, they were disrespectful of the very.
Well, this is why I cannot believe it. I haven't.
And how can they do that when they gave Joel Grey? They gave Joel Grey an honorary lifetime achievement, and he's certainly a non-binary.
Oh, I don't know that he's non-binary. He's just an asshole. I'm sorry. I have Joel and I.
We have a history.
Yeah, Joel and I had an unpleasant encounter here,
and I even witnessed it. So I witnessed it. I can guarantee you, I knew everything leading up to the unpleasantness, as we shall refer to it.
Well,
and I knew it when right before the unpleasantness, because I saw a rather livid Lynn Cullen about 20 minutes before she was about to walk out on a stage, as she had just found out that she was completely set up by everybody about, and she and Joel Grey got to spend what we now find out turns out to be refreshing and everything, a totally unscripted amount of time together.
Anyway, but Susan, seriously, this it begs the question that I've been one. This is, there have been the sort of female thing about, you don't say I was a radio talk show host. Although when I began, a lot of people called me a hostess. Well, we dropped the ESS for women. What is
and it's the same with actor.
Actress? That's right.
It's the same with actor.
Right.
Leah called herself when my daughter was acting. She called herself an actor.
Right. So, and I can assure you that all of these actors at the Tonys don't say, they refer to themselves as actors. Just like in all other professions, we decided that if a man...
Yeah, I wasn't a lawyeress.
That's right. So here's the thing. The awards shows, this goes for the Oscars, the Tonys, and all these other things, they have not caught up with this. Why are women and men segregated in this way? And now, further complicating it, are these people who identify...
Yeah, they really ought to just stop.
So
and
they have to.
In one fell swoop, they would cut the timing of the award show in half.
That is true.
But see, they could give away half as many, just best actor in the lead, best actor in a support, best actor in a musical.
That's right.
Best actor. That's all you have to do.
That's what it should be. But then not as many people get awards, which they won't like. But this has got to be a conversation in theater circles. This just has to be now. It is.
And can I also say, talking about the winner, Guy, is how I'm going to pronounce the name. Remember when I said that I had a problem with Jonathan Van Ness's taste, not the fact that he wore a gown, but that he wore a gown that didn't look good on him?
Yeah, right.
So I would point to Guy, who looked absolutely magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, in a beautiful ensemble that was designed for his body.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't wearing falsies or anything. It was beautifully constructed, looked gorgeous, and so I rest my case. I thought that guy looked great.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you not agree?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. Beth writes, Lynn, I would bet the SOB wrote himself a pardon. Oh, well, that's the thing. This is why you cannot, if he runs and gets elected, he'll pardon himself. And that will be legal. That will be legal. He'd pardon himself and everybody else. And then he'd go after. You want the weaponization of the Justice Department? You can't even make up what he would do.
Well, we already saw that. He already did it once. Just go back to Rule 1, Number 1.
Unfettered. There'd never be another election. He literally would. Thank God it's not going to. I don't know. And Beth goes on. Even if he's convicted, then he'll go through the long process with the Supreme Court to see if a president can pardon himself. I believe they think a president can, don't they? Hasn't that issue? Well, it's never gone to the Supreme Court, has it? Because no president.
No, not that I know of. I have no idea, but I'm sure that there is no exception in the presidential pardoning that says except that no president may pardon himself. They probably didn't think that was necessary.
Okay, let me get Laura in here. Hi, Laura. Good to hear from you, by the way. And Laura, as usual, is really scrutinizing and offering new information. I totally agree. She says the shower curtain is not plastic. If you zoom in, it is a cloth shower curtain, and it also appears there are boxes stored behind the curtain. I agree. If you look at the upper right, you see the tops of boxes. And then she noticed something I also noticed. I also noticed that the tissue box does not have a cover. You know, you have a chandelier, but you don't, believe me. I mean, this all sounds ridiculous, obviously. But if you're going to have a chandelier over the toilet, you don't just stick a thing of Kleenex on the sink. You don't.
You don't just accept any cardboard box pattern that they choose to.
Absolutely not. Yeah, and
you have a cover for your Kleenex.
That is right, and Laura knows it, and she says it's really tacky for a supposedly high-end bathroom. It's true. I noticed that too, and then I thought I'm not going to say anything because I mean it does sound we sound so elitist, but this is showing the just general tackiness of whatever. Anyway, I think we're out of time.
We are.
Okay.
And I got a babysit in Chicago.
What's fun? Okay. Well, you go babysit in Chicago, and I'll stick closer to home. Okay.
Be well. Bye. Sorry about Stan. Really.
You.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah. Robert writes how blessed I was to have been surrounded by so many greats in that 80s WTAE newsroom. It is true. Yeah. Rest in peace, my good man. See you tomorrow.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.